On a recent family trip to Washington, D.C., my friend Wolfgang from Germany was shocked to see that there were homeless people right in front of the White House. He said if the President of the United States just looked out of the window, he would be able to see them. So on a wintry day just before Christmas, I made my way to our nation's capital to look for homeless people near the White House. Being from New York, the homeless are a familiar sight to me. The shocking thing is, we get used to seeing them, but finding yourself face to face with them is a whole other thing, as I would soon find out. We got to the White House pretty quickly, and here we found our first homeless with a mission, Concepcion Picciotto, a Spanish lady who has been protesting for world peace since 1981. American presidents come and go, but she remains. She has said, pointing to the White House, once those guys come to their senses, she would re-enter society, but she doubts it will happen in her lifetime. She was very personable and friendly and handed me a flyer about her peace activism. It was so cold, her eyes were tearing. She talked about one morning where she had to literally dig herself out of her tent because the snow had been up to her neck.
I fell asleep and the whole thing was covering me. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't get up. And when I opened my eyes, everything was snow, like a block.
Have you ever seen Obama?
No, I haven't seen anyone. None of them, because none of them are interested in peace. Meanwhile, the governments, they searching in the space for another planet with water. That's sick. Destroying this planet that we live in, and that this is the only one we can live on, to search for nothing, because no one is going to be in space.
Where are you from? What country?
The world is my country. Hopefully you, by your message, reaches people to think and getting involved with.
I offered to buy her lunch. She said she was a vegetarian and if I could get her a green tea.
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, I would appreciate a hot cup of tea.
Okay. I went to a cozy cafe, the only place that was open nearby. A snowy rain had started to come down. By the time we came out, the police had cordoned off the entrance to Pennsylvania Avenue in front of the White House because of a political demonstration.
President Obama, take action!
Silence is not an option! President Obama, take action!
We walked several blocks to look for Concepcion in the nearby park. Finally, we found her, and she was very happy to get her lunch that had gotten lukewarm in the meantime. A few blocks further, we got to the McPherson Square subway entrance. A sharp wind was blowing through the underpass. There, we talked to Wiley, an Afghanistan war veteran.
W-Y-L-I-E, Wiley. I'm from the agriculture side of Texas.
You still have family there?
All my roots have just descended to heaven, you know. So I'm an ex-Marine. I served in Afghanistan. I served 15 years. I'm a student of Navy Academy. I carried out my mission, seek and destroy, stand by 24 hours a day for about 14 months. They retired me. I got 35 years from the Marine Corps. I get 20 years back pay, and I'm just aloof, you know what I mean? And waiting on my money and waiting on the upgrade of my discharge. In the shelter, about 25. Yeah.
That's okay. And
yeah.
It's not that cold yet. These are your friends?
So where y'all from? Germany? Tell everybody over there I said hi. I hope to come visit before I leave the planet. I'm glad y'all made a comeback.
All of a sudden, two aggressive-looking homeless men came towards us. One of them said he was Puerto Rican, and he had a crazed, drugged-out look in his eyes and demanded we give him $10. I said we had no money. He came very close and tried to grab our camera, so we left. We then decided to go to Franklin Park nearby. Despite the ice-cold weather, the park was filled with homeless people. A man was handing out food and hot chocolate. He said he was doing this once a month. Volunteers were singing Christmas carols for the homeless. We saw a young Hispanic family with a little girl. The father came out from behind a tree where he had peed. We asked him if we could film his family. He said no. We wanted to give him a couple of dollars. He said no. But when we offered the money to his child, they were happy to take it. That family stood in the rain without umbrellas and ate their food they had gotten from the volunteer right there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, pasta today? Is it hot?
Yeah, barbecue too.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
So we started.
We met a lot of veterans today.
Yeah. There you go. We come here and we go down by McPherson, right? You see? Open up here. No, thanks, y'all. Thanks, y'all. There you go, sir. All right. There you go, sir. You're welcome.
Then we met Melba, a disabled woman. I asked Melba if I could buy her a tea to warm her up. She said no. If she drank anything, she would have to go to the bathroom, and there were no places where she could go to the bathroom. Despite her deplorable state, she seemed in good spirits, and when I asked her where her family was, she didn't want to talk about it. She said the mallard ducks in another park were her family, about 20 of them. I gave her money and she was so happy because now she said she could afford the bus fare to see her beloved duck family.
They come for dinner every night.
Oh, that's sweet.
I call my family.
Where's your family?
In the other park, the mallard duck. And the people asking me, what do you feed it? Whatever I have to feed. I said I try to put them on welfare, but they won't take it. They're about, sometimes they come about 60, 70. It's a large family.
And then we met Anthony. First he asked me with a lot of compassion how I was doing. He said anybody could be homeless if the circumstances were bad. He said he lost his job last May, quit drugs, but still drinks alcohol once in a while. There was something really loving and sweet about this man. He really touched me and I had to cry. He said he wanted to pray with me for all of us. He told Nigel to film us. He took my hands and prayed. I felt comfortable. This stranger, a homeless, holding my hands. He said to point the camera up to the sky, to the light, indicating God or something. I gave him $2. He said he'd share them. He went to another homeless and gave her the other $1. I then gave him my last $1 that I had in cash. He was so grateful for that $1.
We don't take it for granted. You know, you have what you have right now, but it can end, your day can turn like this at any particular time, and you don't take it for granted because you have a whole lot. So if you have a chance to give back, give back. If you don't give, nothing's gonna come back. So you keep everything, your pretty car and everything and all this, but we need to look further because right now we on this plane right here. Turn the camera that way.
Oh yeah.
Nah, turn it out that way.
Oh yeah.
We all going there. No, play it. No, we all look. We going there. And a lot of people that have so much don't understand why it is important to give. Because we both come by about here. I like to thank God to give what she gave to me, to magnify this in many different ways, and I'd like to thank her for giving this to me from the bottom of her heart. She didn't think twice to give it to me, and this right here is special. And what I'm gonna do, since I had two on them, I'm gonna give one to somebody else, and that my blessings get magnified 1,000 times more. So I had two, and I gave her one of them.
That's very sweet.
See, and that's from the heart. If you don't do anything like that, you're never gonna get anything in life.
It had gotten dark as we made our way back to the subway on this ice-cold day before Christmas. Back to the comfort of our homes, where we had family and loved ones waiting for us. With a shudder, I realized that if life had taken a different turn, it could have been me who had to sleep outside or look for some shelter tonight. I will never look at a homeless person the same again.
That's cool. I like it. I gotta remember to shoot this.